I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network, and this is a breaking news alert. A leader of the Proud Boys, one of their top leaders out of North Carolina, just pled guilty to a seditious conspiracy charge, the most serious charge the Department of Justice has charged insurrectionists with for their involvement on January 6th. The individual who pled guilty to seditious conspiracy is Jeremy Bertino. He becomes the first member of the Proud Boys to plead guilty to the seditious conspiracy charge. He also pled guilty to unlawful possession of a firearm. Let's pull up right now the actual guilty plea and let's go over it right here. This is what it says. United States of America versus Jeremy Bertino. Information, count one. The United States Attorney charges that from in or around December 2020 through in or around January 2021 in the District of Columbia and elsewhere, the defendant, Jeremy Bertino, did knowingly combine, conspire, confederate, and agree with Ethan Nordian, Joseph Biggs, Zachary Rao, Charles Donahue, Enrique Tarrio, Dominique Pizzola, and other persons known and unknown to oppose by force the authority of the government of the United States and to delay by force the execution of the laws governing the transfer of power, including the 12th Amendment to the Constitution and Title III, Section 15 of the United States Code, in violation of Title 18 U.S.C., United States Code, Section 2384, seditious conspiracy, and count two is the unlawful possession of firearm count. Now, what's also important, which you probably noticed in this plea, is that he said he worked with in a conspiracy with the co-conspirators who are set to go to trial in December, the other leadership of the Proud Boys, Rel, Donahue, Tarrio, Pizzola, and others. So not just pleading guilty to seditious conspiracy on his own, but also making clear that he did his unlawful conduct. He committed seditious conspiracy with these other individuals. Also interesting to note that he took this guilty plea before the United States District Judge Tim Kelly in the District Court of Washington, D.C. Right down the hallway was the seditious conspiracy trial of the Oath Keeper leadership, Stuart Rhodes, and a number of co-conspirator leaders in the Oath Keeper. Some other breaking news today from that trial. Apparently, some Oath Keepers were involved in communication with the Secret Service, is what came out during some of the testimony. But all of this was happening in the same courtroom. And this guilty plea by a member of the Proud Boys is a big win for the Department of Justice. Again, the seditious conspiracy charge has been the most serious charge that the Department of Justice has utilized, basically trying to overthrow the United States government. You may recall that Jeremy Bertino appeared briefly in front of he appeared before the January 6th committee, but in terms of their public hearings, he appeared in that video clip where he had said that after Donald Trump said if he had known the Proud Boys during the debate where Trump said stand back and stand by would be the message, that the membership in the Proud Boys exploded. I think he said it was somewhere between 3 to 5 times the membership the moment Donald Trump said that. And Bertino also says that he was basically radicalized and joined the Proud Boys in support of their hate and their desire to overthrow our democratic processes somewhere around 2018, of course, within the Trump administration. He actually text messaged Enrique Tarrio after the insurrection, and in his message to Tarrio, he said, quote, "You know we made this happen. 1776, mother effer," he wrote in the text messages. And Bertino was on the encrypted chat with other Proud Boy leaders in addition to Tarrio in the weeks before January 6th, which is one of the things that, of course, was referenced in the plea agreement where he talked about the group's plan to stop the certification of the electoral vote on January 6th, even if it involved using force against the police and others. So this is a big development in the January 6th prosecutions. For those who have been watching the MeidasTouch network, I've described the various tiers in terms of how the Department of Justice has been prosecuting insurrectionists. Tier 1, the more low-level offenders, the kind of clownish, the shaman, the people who trespassed. That next tier above, people who engaged in violent conduct, who may have attacked police officers. The tier above that, these terrorist groups, the 3%ers, the Proud Boys, the Oath Keeper leadership, and here with this seditious conspiracy charge, the most serious charge, the first Proud Boy to plead guilty to seditious conspiracy. And as I mentioned, within the conspiracy, that next tier, that fourth tier, I believe to be Trump's inner circle who have not been prosecuted yet. I believe that to be Rudy Giuliani, John Eastman, Jeff Clark, Flynn, people like that group. And then the final tier above that, in my view, would be Donald Trump. That's how I conceptualize this. And we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of convictions achieved by the Department of Justice. This has been the single most wide-ranging investigation in the history of the Department of Justice. They've had successful results to date, and they continue, while they accepted this guilty plea from the Proud Boy, to prosecute the Oath Keepers at the same time, Stuart Rhodes and others. Big January 6th news. Glad to give you that update. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hey, hit the subscribe button right now. We are on our way to 1 million subs, thanks to you. If you want to support independent media like this that has no outside investors, that's fueled by democracy and powered by you, no matter where you live in the world, you can get involved. Go to patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. I always get asked, I want to get off the sidelines. I want to help build this thing. What can I do? That's what you can do. Go to patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Until next time, I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network.
MeidasTouch is unapologetically pro-democracy. And look, we know you are too. So please make sure you check out our best-selling shirt and our best-selling gear, the unapologetically pro-democracy gear. And hey, while you're at it, make sure you check out my favorite shirt and one of our most famous designs. It wasn't rigged, you're just a loser. At store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com.